Step back in time to the golden age of cinema as we look at the legendary team-ups that defined a generation. We are diving into the 1962 Western classics that saw Hollywood icons, John Wayne and James Stewart, share the screen for the very first time in The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Then we explore the poignant final performance of Randolph Scott and Joel McCrea in Sam Peckinpah's masterpiece, Ride the High Country, a film that marked the end of an era for two of the biggest stars to ever saddle up.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
From the silver screen to the squared circle, we have got a must-have drop for wrestling fans everywhere. The Weeknd has teamed up with WWE for a brand new collaborative collection that pays homage to the legendary Hollywood Hogan. This heavyweight cotton tee features a classic portrait of the Hall of Famer and captures that iconic NWO energy that defined a generation of sports entertainment. Next, hold your breath for a survival story like you have never seen before. Austin Abrams is headed deep into the belly of the beast in the intense new trailer for Whalefall, the adaptation of the Daniel Clowes novel from filmmaker Brian Duffield. Watch as he battles for survival inside a massive sperm whale, alongside a powerhouse cast featuring Josh Brolin and Elizabeth Shue. Finally, get ready to return to the world of high fashion because Meryl Streep is officially back in her most iconic role. Footage from The Devil Wears Prada 2 has arrived, showing Miranda Priestly bringing her signature savage wit to a new editorial meeting, with Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt back in the mix to stir up the drama. This is the sequel we have been waiting for, so make sure you stay in the loop on all things runway. If you loved this update, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss another exclusive scoop. Ever wonder if there was a single moment when the golden age of the Western started to fade into the sunset? If you look at 1962, the answer is a resounding yes. It was a year defined by two elegiac masterpieces that signaled the end of the traditional white hat, black hat era. First, you had John Ford's The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, which finally put John Wayne and James Stewart on screen together, deconstructing the very myth of the American West. It's a film that asks a brutal question. What happens when the legend becomes more important than the truth? It's a haunting look at how civilization was built on a foundation of necessary lies. But that wasn't the only swan song that year. We also got Sam Peckinpah's Ride the High Country, a film that brought together two other titans, Randolph Scott and Joel McCrea. This was their first and only time working together, and it's arguably one of the most poignant pairings in cinema history. Unlike the Duke, who was synonymous with the genre, Randolph Scott was a master of everything from screwball comedies to musicals. Yet, there he was, leaning into his final act. Joel McCrea, on the other hand, was a sophisticated leading man who traded the urbane roles of his youth for the dusty, principled grit of the frontier, because he didn't want to be the aging bachelor chasing young women anymore. In Ride the High Country, their chemistry feels heavy with real-world resignation. Scott plays a man tempted by a gold heist, while McCrea plays the unwavering lawman, a dynamic that echoes their own real-life career trajectories. For Scott, this was his final bow, retiring a wealthy man who knew exactly when to walk away. For McCrea, it was a career peak he'd never replicate. Their final moments on screen together aren't just acting. They are a farewell to an entire era of Hollywood. By the time the credits rolled, it was clear that a new, grittier wave of filmmakers was taking the reins, bringing with them a moral ambiguity that would define the next decade of movies. 1962 wasn't just a year for Westerns. It was the hinge upon which Hollywood turned. Have you seen these classics, or do you prefer the grit of the later revisionist Westerns? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into film history. After all, the best stories aren't just the ones we tell, they are the ones we live. Ever wondered what happens when the king of moody pop collides with the chaotic energy of professional wrestling? Well, The Weeknd just answered that question in the coolest way possible. We're talking about the new WWE x XO Hollywood Hogan tee, and honestly, it's a masterclass in nostalgia-fueled fashion. Crafted from an 8.5-ounce heavyweight black cotton, this isn't your average thin band shirt, it's built to last. The front hits you with a crisp, vintage-style portrait of the legendary Hollywood Hogan, but the real magic is on the back. That signature, For Life lettering. It's a direct nod to the iconic NWO era that turned the wrestling world upside down. It's gritty, it's retro, and it's a perfect bridge between the dark aesthetic of XO and the larger-than-life drama of the squared circle. Whether you were there for the original Monday Night Wars, or you just appreciate a killer graphic design, this piece is a serious conversation starter. It's rare to see such a seamless blend of music culture and sports entertainment, and it makes you realize how much personality these collaborations can pack. So, what's your take? Are you picking up this piece of wrestling history, or are you holding out for the next drop? Hit that subscribe button and let me know your favorite wrestling era in the comments below. Sometimes, the most unexpected style choices are the ones that define an entire generation. Have you ever wondered what it would actually feel like to be swallowed whole by a creature the size of a school bus? Well, theater owners at CinemaCon just got a terrifyingly front-row seat to that nightmare with the debut trailer for Whalefall. This isn't just a survival movie, it's a high-stakes descent into the abyss. Directed by Brian Duffield and based on the gripping 2023 novel by Daniel Kraus, the film stars Austin Abrams as a scuba diver whose routine expedition turns into a fight for his life against a massive sperm whale. The footage shown at CinemaCon is nothing short of visceral. We see Abrams pinned against the rocks, trying to dodge a squid, only to realize he's being hunted by something much, much bigger. The tension is palpable as he's eventually engulfed, screaming into the darkness as he disappears into the beast's anatomy. But the film is more than just survival horror. It's a deeply human story. Between the frantic kicks and the struggle for air, our protagonist is forced to confront the memory of his late father, turning a physical trap into a psychological gauntlet. With a heavy-hitting cast including Josh Brolin, Elizabeth Shue, and John Ortiz, this project feels like a massive cinematic swing from Imagine Entertainment. Austin Abrams is clearly having an incredible moment in his career right now, coming off of Euphoria and catching everyone's attention in Zach Cregger's upcoming projects. If the trailer is any indication, Whalefall is going to be a claustrophobic, heart-pounding experience that you absolutely need to see on the big screen. The movie hits theaters on October 16th, and trust me, you're going to want to hold your breath for this one. Does the idea of being trapped in the belly of a whale intrigue you or completely terrify you? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more movie news. Sometimes, the most daunting obstacles aren't just the ones outside of us, but the ones we carry within. CinemaCon for spring? Groundbreaking. If you thought Miranda Priestly had hung up her designer coat for good, think again, because the queen of cold-blooded corporate chic is officially back. Disney just blew the doors off their Las Vegas presentation, giving us our first real look at The Devil Wears Prada 2, and honestly, the ice has never felt so thin. Anne Hathaway appeared virtually to hype the project, reminding us that it has been 2 decades since this movie first defined fashion cinema. And then the footage dropped. We see Meryl Streep back in the runway boardroom, looking like she hasn't missed a single beat of condescension. She's still dropping lines like, "May my suicide be brief and painless," a vintage Miranda mood, while newcomer Simone Ashley tries, and likely fails, to keep the office in check. We also got a glimpse of Emily Blunt and Hathaway living their best lives on a boat in Italy, which is a visual upgrade I think we can all get behind. The original cast is reuniting in full force. Streep, Hathaway, Blunt, and the legendary Stanley Tucci are all returning. But the stakes have shifted. The sequel finds Miranda in a high-stakes battle against her former assistant, Emily, now a powerhouse rival executive, as they both fight for revenue in a dying print media landscape. It's a genius setup because it reflects the actual transition of the media world since 2006. Director David Frankel is back at the helm, and the buzz on set has been electric. Filming in New York this summer turned into a spectacle, with crowds turning out in droves, some even dressing up as Miranda herself, which Meryl Streep admitted left her completely floored. It's a testament to the fact that this isn't just a movie, it's a cultural monolith. As Emily Blunt perfectly pointed out to Vogue, the obsession with this sequel shows just how much our lives and our consumption habits have changed since the original. We're living in a world of sweatpants and instant gratification, but we're still starving for the perfection that Runway magazine represents. With a massive ensemble cast joining the OGs, The Devil Wears Prada 2 hits theaters on May 1. Are you ready for the return of the Dragon Lady? Let me know in the comments if you think Andy and Miranda can actually make peace this time around, or if it's just going to be another round of brutal, beautiful warfare. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more updates, and remember, details matter, so don't you dare be late for the premiere.